Paris, London, Moscow, Tokyo. Have you ever wanted to live and study in these places, even just for a semester? Well, studying abroad can be your chance to do just that. You know, the thing that everyone says, change their lives. But it's not just a cliche. In fact, study abroad programs are some of the best learning experiences that colleges have to offer. Hi, I'm Alex, and welcome back to College Vine. Today we're going to explore what study abroad means, why you should do it, and how you can factor study abroad programs into your college list. Studying abroad includes studying, sure, but it's mostly about immersing yourself in a new country. Since the visa and living arrangements are all streamlined for you, studying abroad is really a once-in-a-lifetime chance to live abroad, not just visit as a tourist. You'll get to see a country from the inside. You'll meet people your age, immerse yourself in the culture, and have your studies enriched by new perspectives. Living in a new country really turns the most mundane parts of life into magical experiences. When I was abroad, every day was like a Pixar movie. For example, one time I traveled to Paris with some friends, and we came across a restaurant called Gusteau's. The only thing on the menu was something called ratatouille. So we tried it, and it was so good that my friends asked to meet the chef so we could tell them how great it was. And guess what? That ratatouille was made by an actual rat, an animated little guy named Remy. This kind of thing just happens in France, and it's probably not the craziest story you'll hear from people who've studied abroad. Anyways, these magical experiences take place over a semester, maybe two, and typically happen during your junior or senior year. The program you choose, and thus the country you go to, is all up to you. You just need to meet some language and academic requirements, which should be an issue since you probably don't want to move to a different country without knowing the language first. Once you're approved and filled out the necessary paperwork, you'll be registered as a full-time student at your host university. You'll be able to choose classes there that can count towards your major, giving you around a semester's worth of credits to transfer to your home university. You'll also get to have many of the same experiences that domestic students do. You'll live in student housing, participate in clubs, and have access to campus resources. If you're doing a research project, like a senior thesis, that last one can be especially important. There's a lot of stuff in overseas libraries and archives that you just won't have access to from your home college. For example, one of my papers required primary source documents on King George III, which I was only able to access abroad through the Royal Archives in London. Having a semester abroad planned out can drastically change the scope of the research projects you'll be able to pursue while in undergrad. Now you're probably thinking, a semester abroad sounds awesome. What's the catch? Here's a few things to consider before packing your suitcase. For one, going through life in a secondary language is tough. Doubly tough when you're taking college-level courses in that language. Speaking another language all day is exhausting, and you'll have a lot of moments where you can't remember that one word in a conversation, like ratatouille. Still, you'll get the hang of it eventually, and there's no better way to truly learn a language than through immersion, like living abroad. Cultural differences could be both fun and challenging. They could range anywhere from different gender norms to something as simple as having dinner at 10 p.m., like in Spain. Universities abroad also tend to do things differently than their American counterparts. Schools in France, for example, don't give homework or assignments during the semester. Students are instead expected to prepare themselves for final exams, which alone determine their final grades. And then there's cost. Plane tickets and movie expenses are some of the more obvious examples, but you'll also need to factor in healthcare, and in some cases, tuition. Your school's financial office should help you out to make sure these costs add up to about the same amount as a semester at your home college, but you'll still need money saved up for day-to-day expenses, especially if you worked a campus job. Note that your student visa won't let you work abroad. Okay, that's all you need to know about study abroad programs themselves, but how does this factor into choosing an undergrad college? Study abroad programs are made possible by individual partnerships between each college and their counterparts abroad. Different colleges have their own international partners, so if you're set on an international school or a specific country, you'll need to make sure the college you're applying to has a partnership there. This is especially important if the country you're thinking of is outside of Western Europe. Most colleges offer few non-European language courses, let alone study abroad partnerships. You'll also want to check a potential college's financial aid policies when it comes to study abroad. Some colleges commit to ensuring a semester abroad costs the same as one in the US, but that's generally limited to the top 50 or so schools. So double check the colleges you're applying to, and keep in mind that most colleges will only be able to offer varying degrees of aid. Lastly, check what percentage of a school's students participate in study abroad programs. the more students who do these programs, the more streamlined a school's process is likely to be. And that's it. I hope this journey to study abroad has helped you get an idea of whether study abroad programs are right for you. Luckily enough, you won't have to travel far for any of your other admissions related needs. Just head on over to collegefind.com where you can find tons of other resources such as blogs, live streams, and even a chancing engine, all available when you make a free account. And of course, if this video is helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all our upcoming content. Thanks for watching, and see you again next time.